Hello, my name is Maya and I'm a safeguard advisor at UNEP. I'm here with Greg. In this short video, I will answer Greg's questions on how UNEP's Stakeholder Response Mechanism is set up to respond to any concerns and complaints caused by our projects and program activities. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Maya. I've always wanted to ask, why do we need to care about the grievance issue? I believe my projects don't intend to cause any harm.
I'm sure you don't intend to cause harm. We often implement projects with or through national and local governments and institutions, so we don't have complete control over the project implementation. Even otherwise, despite all our good intentions, sometimes our projects have unexpected or unintended impacts on local communities, women, people with disabilities, and other marginalized and vulnerable people in their socioeconomic and environmental settings. We try to anticipate and manage such risks as much as possible from the design stage of the project. However, not all risks may be identified upfront, and not all anticipated risks may be avoided or mitigated. So, the affected stakeholders should be able to raise their voices and seek solutions when projects affect them in a harmful way. That's why we have set up the Stakeholder Response Mechanism.
I see. You're saying that what we aim to achieve and how we intend to go about it may not work out accordingly due to the complex reality of the project context. So what is the Stakeholder Response Mechanism exactly? And how is it different from the Grievance Redress mechanism?
The UNEP safeguard policy called Environmental and Social Sustainability Framework, or ESSF, includes the Stakeholder Response Mechanism, or SRM. This is one of several ways to give ownership of the project to the people we serve and demonstrate that UNEP takes accountability seriously. The SRM is a powerful instrument that allows affected stakeholders in the project areas to voice their concerns or grievance over UNEP's interventions that may affect or have already affected them. SRM allows the affected communities to have the dialogue and negotiation needed to resolve their concerns and complaints. People may be more familiar with the term Grievance Redress mechanism. UNEP's SRM is a broader term that includes both informal and formal measures to resolve the issues raised.
Okay, Stakeholder Response Mechanism sounds a bit more positive than Grievance Redress mechanism anyway.
Indeed.
So how does it function in the UNEP project context?
There are some aspects that we should keep in mind about the SRM. We should identify where UNEP potentially breached the safeguard policy in UNEP-funded activities. We should involve the neutral third party in handling the case. We should also operate transparently by maintaining records and keeping complainants informed as cases are in the process of getting resolved. SRM should be accessible to stakeholders free of charge and is clearly publicized, including contact information. And, if requested, we should respect confidentiality of the complainant's identity and information and take necessary measures to minimize the risk or retaliation to complainants.
It makes sense. You're saying that addressing the problem in a neutral, fair, transparent, and considerate manner is what we need to keep in our minds, right?
Right, exactly.
Then how do we ensure impartiality and gain the trust of the complainants?
When a compliance or grievance issue is raised, UNEP first engage affected communities in an effort to settle the issues through informal and consultative approaches as much as possible. But if this does not work, complainants may request a formal investigation. UNEP launches an investigation with the involvement of an experienced independent consultant to ensure an unbiased, meaningful, and fair assessment of the situation and options. You can find the process and related timelines in the UNEP SRM document. UNEP is committed to complying with it. In addition, full information sharing, facilitation of meeting venue, meeting time, and language services that suit their needs are also important for effective handling of the cases.
Okay, so who can make these complaints?
Anyone who believes they may be or have been negatively affected by UNEP activities can file a complaint with UNEP. Of course, UNEP will screen these complaints and see if they are legitimate. Legitimate cases are those that provide reasonable evidence of adverse impact foreseen or happened to them, their communities, or the environment by or through UNEP projects. We also check if they communicate their concerns to the project team members. Anyone or entities that work on behalf of affected community members can also file a case. UNEP project team or the UNEP Independent Office for Stakeholders Safeguard-Related Response or the IOSSR office should guide them with the process even before UNEP determines the eligibility.
Aha! Got it. Although it may be uncomfortable for UNEP and concerned project managers, we have the responsibility to walk through the process for the complainants to raise and negotiate the issues well. So, how practically can the affected local stakeholders raise their concerns? Where can they go to do this?
Ideally, UNEP projects should establish a project-level grievance mechanism, especially when they are moderate risk projects. Project-level grievance mechanism, UNEP's SRM, and any other ways to raise complaints should be clearly and actively communicated to the local communities. This includes stakeholder consultation meetings and disclosure of project and safeguard-related information and other opportunities. UNEP provides several venues for the affected people to file official complaints. One way is the UNEP Project Concern Form, which is available in 6 official UN languages. Second, through an email to UNEP-IOSSR@UN.org. Third, through a postmail to UNEP address. If the information submitted is insufficient, the IOSSR office guides them on the information and documents we need to collect from the complainants. If the complaint is considered eligible, the IOSSR will decide whether the complaint can be dealt with through a problem-solving process, compliance review, dispute resolution, or all at the same time.
How much responsibility does UNEP have when UNEP faces grievance cases because an executing or implementing partner failed to carry out due diligence regarding stakeholder engagement and safeguard mitigation measures?
A good question. UNEP is still partially responsible for the compliance and grievance cases. UNEP should ensure that the implementing and executing partners understand, assess, and manage safeguard risks associated with the projects and engage the affected stakeholders to proactively address potential and actual concerns. The roles and responsibilities of the implementing and executing partners should be clearly stated in the legal agreements. UNEP project managers should assess partners' capacity to handle the safeguard issues and provide necessary support throughout the project lifecycle. Complainants are entitled to raise their concerns to the local grievance redress mechanism or the executing governments, UNEP, or the funding institutions like a Global Environment Facility, Green Climate Fund, or Adaptation Fund based on their judgment, suppose the security concerns, or the level of trust they have in different institutions. Then, the concerned institutions work together to assess the problem and offer the solutions that the complainants can accept. The process can potentially be expensive and take a long time to come to mutually agreeable solutions.
Thank you for explaining how concerns or complaints can be submitted and how they will be handled. During the negotiation process, how does UNEP communicate with them?
All cases should be registered and disclosed through the UNEP website so that the public and the concerned stakeholders can follow the cases. This is the international standard practice and an essential part of UNEP's safeguard policy compliance. Often, these cases attract media attention as well. These grievance issues should be shared with the concerned funding agencies like GEF, GCF, or the Adaptation Fund.
Oh, good to know. I hope my projects don't encounter any compliance or grievance cases from the local stakeholders. So, how best can I prevent this?
Respectful communication with and engagement of stakeholders in the project sites will greatly reduce potential complaints. So, avoiding, minimizing, and mitigating safeguard risks should start from the risk identification, focusing on understanding the needs of the local communities. The work starts from the project concept until the project closure, and UNEP has the responsibility to support local communities and the affected stakeholders should any problems arise. Respecting the guiding principles like human rights and leaving no one behind are important to give the ownership of the project to the people we serve and protect UNEP's reputation. It is a smart thing to do. You can also check out Safeguard's video on how to engage stakeholders and other related resources on UNEP's We Collaborate page.
That is good to know. Thank you very much for clarifying many questions I had on SRM today. I also know that I can reach you for more information.
Sure, I will answer any related questions with pleasure. Thank you.